All right. Welcome back to the GSMC Wrestling Laureate podcast brought to you by the GSMC Sports Network. I'm your host, Eric Rodriguez, here every Monday through Friday, 8 p.m. Pacific time, 11 p.m. Eastern time, here to talk about everything in terms of professional wrestling. So just kind of reflect on what we talked about real quick. We talked about our AEW Dynamite review. We talked about my Thursday Night Wrestling preview. Talked about TNA, Ring of Honor as well. We also talked about some of wrestling's greatest rivalries, and then we talked about Saturday night's main event returning to WWE in this generation. We talked about some of the greatest matches that definitely put WWF on the slash WWE on the map. Now we're going to talk about our way too early Survivor Series predictions. Obviously, some of these are going to be totally far fetched and crazy, but it can happen. It can happen. Anything about professional wrestling, and I'm all for it. I'm all for it. All right, so we got Survivor Series coming around the corner, guys. It's happening in I think Vancouver, and it's just going to be great. It's going to be one of the greatest Survivor Series of all times. I give you the Eric Rodriguez guarantee that this is gonna be lit, guys. This is gonna be one of the greatest Survivor, and I can't wait. And just the addition of the War Games sales matches is just it does put the icing on the cake. Although I do miss the time when Raw and SmackDown actually when you hated each other, when the WWE champion would square off against the World's Heavyweight champion. You would have the SmackDown tag team champions going against the Raw tag team champions, United States champion against the Intercontinental and the women's, yada, yada, yada. And it was cool, kind of created this fight for brand supremacy, and it mattered. And I just love that, and this traditional 5-man tag team matches were my favorite. And they still are. Obviously, with the implementation of the cage, kind of makes things, a little bit more, I guess, action packed, I guess you can say. But they had a lot of great traditional 5-on-5 matches, and it was pretty dope. It was pretty dope, 1,010%. So now we're going to talk about some Survivor Series, War Games, and Vancouver. All right, first and foremost, I think Randy Orton will be fighting against Cody Rhodes for the WWE Championship. We saw Cody Rhodes last SmackDown. I thought he was going to ultimately work with Roman Reigns at Survivor Series, but now I kind of think otherwise because he told general manager of SmackDown, Nick Aldis, that he's like, you know what, this is Roman's problem. I don't want to be dragged on into this. I'm sorry, I can't do it. So now he's teaming up with Roman at Bad Blood. That I feel like kind of compensates for him fighting at Survivor Series. So now it feels like we're going to get a full on Bloodline versus Bloodline kind of match. Randy Orton, I feel like could very much defeat Cody Rhodes. But it would leave Cody Rhodes without the championship, and I think right now Cody's reign is just too untouchable. It's just too untouchable. So after 2 years, two Royal Rumble wins, I really honestly don't see this guy losing the belt until maybe Mania, or maybe even after that. It's crazy. But will Randy Orton turn heel? I don't know. Maybe. I think right now he does love this positive attention from the fans that he's not used to getting. We're so used to him cutting cutting edge promos, basically being, sadistic and this, evil, Viper Apex Predator kind of slithering through the grass waiting for his next prey. So that could definitely be a possibility as well. But overall, I think, these two guys will go at it for the WWE Championship. Next, we have Rhea Ripley going against Liv Morgan. Obviously, I know that, they have a match at Bad Blood. But man, I would love to see, and I was kind of looking, I kind of read an article about, I think it was Bleacher Report, I think it was. I would love a Liv Morgan team against a Rhea Ripley team. That would be so cool. Oh my God, that would be so amazing. I don't know if, Liv Morgan would team up with the Trailer Trash, and I don't know if, Rhea Ripley and Damian Priest would have to recruit a couple of people, which they would probably go toward, Jey Uso's way, but he's going to probably be recruited for the main event with the Bloodline versus Bloodline. Um, so make it an all girls War Games match. Why not? That'd be awesome. That'd be great. Obviously, you kind of see Pure Fusion Collective right now feuding with Damage Control, kind of having Damage Control on their side. Maybe have Oscar return as well, to kind of back up, kind of back her up. Right now, Raquel Rodriguez is, kind of on the waiver wire. She's training. She's ready to get back in the ring. Her and Liv Morgan obviously do have a past. But who would be on Team Liv, though? You know what I mean? Maybe Baszler, maybe DeVille, also Stark. But then they need one more girl. Who would be their last girl? Obviously a heel. Would have to be a heel. I can't really think of one. I don't know. But on Team Rhea, I can see probably, some of Damage Control. Maybe, Kyrie Sang, Io Sky, maybe Bianca Belair and Jade. Maybe. I feel like that'd be pretty cool. I feel like I would love to see them, team up with, Rhea Ripley, three of the best women's superstars on the planet right there. Bing, bang, boom. Or like maybe you get some SmackDown, maybe Tiffany Stratton joins, Liv Morgan. I don't know. It would just leave so much to kind of ponder. I think it'd be cool. It'd be cool to kind of. I love it when girls wrestle in the women's division who wrestle in groundbreaking matchups. Obviously, the Hell in the Cell match with Sasha Banks was, and Becky Lynch was pretty badass. Um, well, no, was it with Sasha Banks or was it Charlotte Flair? Don't quote me on that. But no, it was watching these girls go out. It's entertaining because these girls entertain you just as much as the dudes do. So I would love to see a team Liv going up against a team Rhea would be pretty badass. Next, I feel like there's going to be. I don't think Gunther's going to. He's gonna fight for his title at Bad Blood, and I think after that it's Crown Jewel. I think it is in October. I think so. And then I think he's going to get a break at Survivor Series. I do. I don't think he's going to defend his WWE World Heavyweight Championship at Survivor Series. I think we're going to see a number one contenders match. You're going to see the returning Seth Rollins taking on Drew McIntyre, taking on, CM Punk. And obviously the person that's going to come out of this, and it kind of makes the most sense, is, probably Drew McIntyre. You're going to see Drew McIntyre going up against Gunther, and then you're going to have, because, CM Punk and, Seth Rollins obviously do have their beef. I don't know if WWE is kind of using Gunther as like a kind of like a placeholder champion. Maybe Seth Rollins regains the title back, and maybe you do have CM Punk win the Royal Rumble and challenge Seth Rollins. Like that could be a possibility as well. Kind of grooming up, and you don't have the lingering Money in the Bank, briefcase around. I feel like that's the reason why WWE got rid of it super quick. So, I don't know. I can see Drew McIntyre winning, and because he seems like, him and Punk already had their fight. They already had their fight. But I don't know. It's like I said, still up in the air. Up in the air, 1,010%. A triple threat match to determine Gunther's number one contender. And, I feel like that'd be pretty badass. All right. And lastly, we're going to see Team Roman against Team Solo Sikoa. I think this can go one of so many ways, and it's crazy. Hikuleo is actually, he's set to debut inside of WWE. So, who will he choose to join? Well, right now, Solo kind of has a full team. Kind of. He has him, Tamatanga, Tangaloa, Jacob Fatu, and then there's one more spot. There's one more spot open. And then for Roman Reigns, it's him. I think he brings Jay back. If Jimmy is healthy, I'm not sure his status right now. It's kind of still in the dark. If he's out, I can see him coming back. A lot of people say I might be crazy, but I think Sami Zayn comes back as well. You know what I mean? It would just bring back so much nostalgia, and it would make Roman a more bigger baby face because they're like, oh, look, like he's bringing back Sammy. Even some of the honorary uses, man, this guy, must really regret honestly treating these guys like garbage. So I definitely think, but then there's one more spot open as well. And then like, who will Hikuleo join, or will he be the reason why one of these teams loses? The Rock is also on, talking about the card and stuff like that. I kind of pondered around two ideas. I think, The Rock comes out, says that he's been pulling the strings the whole time, and Solo Sikoa is just holding his spot as tribal chief until The Rock returns. That could be, that could happen. Or The Rock is the fifth member for Roman's team, and then maybe you have like Hikuleo come inside, and be part of this new young bloodline. And it seems fitting. It does seem fitting for that to happen because, like, you have Tomatunga young, Tungaloa young. You have all these younger guys, and Roman Reigns is kind of like in the middle. The Rock is kind of, middle slash, older generations. So, and then this match, obviously, you have The Rock being the last person to enter the cell. The cage is closed. Then they, in every War Games match, they have the, two rings. The five guys look at each other, the five guys, and then The Rock walks over to the other side, and then it's a 4-on-6. I, definitely think that is a possibility. That could definitely happen. But all in all, I feel like it's gonna be great. It's gonna be great. I can't wait to watch it. Oh my god, I gotta wait till November. Ah, damn you, WWE. Damn you. It's so crazy how I'm like, you know what, Bad Blood? I'm just gonna know. Bad Blood's gonna be good. It's gonna be good. Crown Jewel, Crown Jewel is Crown Jewel. Whenever they do have, PLEs in the opposite countries, you have matchups that don't really change the landscape of the storytelling in WWE. You kind of more or less kind of have the focus on the four major PLEs like the Royal Rumble, Survivor Series, WrestleMania, and SummerSlam. So I don't know. I don't really think much is going to happen at Crown Jewel, but something might. It's something might. Could happen. It could happen. But overall, I'm super excited. I can't wait for Survivor Series this year. One of my favorite WWE events, and yeah, it's right around the corner. So I'm getting, obviously, with my way too early Survivor Series. I'm getting hyped up, bro. I'm getting hyped up. All right, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in to the GSMC Sports Network. Also watching my show, the GSMC Wrestling Laureate podcast. That's it for me today. Hope you guys had a great time. 1,010%. Definitely appreciate my man Logan James in the chat, and hope you guys had a great Thursday night. But yeah, and remember to Superman punch that like and subscribe button to the show. Follow the show, follow the network, follow us on Twitter/X, Instagram, TikTok, and Facebook for more content and updates. And like I always say, if I had not made you a wrestling fan by now, we got my boy Emran with the soccer podcast coming up. We also have Tommy with college football on Saturdays. We also have two football podcasts. So if you're a huge NFL football guy, make sure you tune into the Chip Shot Football podcast with my boy Manny. Also the GSMC Football podcast with Kenneth. And when it comes to football, comes fantasy sports. We got fantasy sports with Chris Shepard. We also got my boy Nelson with basketball. We have our traditional sports, all around shows with Jeremy with with Sports by GSMC. We got GSMC Sports Podcast with my man TJ. They cover it all. So your one-stop shop for any kind of sports news. Make sure you stop by their podcasts. All of them are great, entertaining, and learn from those guys. Those guys are my dogs. So 1,010% got to represent my bros, man. So like I said, that's it for me today. Stay beautiful, and of course, love you.